This episode of The Hot Seat, we speak to someone whose life has quite literally been the definition of drama. From a very young age through school to the theatre world, drama has charted his path into the political sphere. And we ourselves have recently been treated to that very drama, with him being one of 3 senators to be ejected forcefully from their residences. We at the hot seat have been able to catch up with one of them, and we host Senator of Kakamega and Deputy Minority Leader at the Senate, Cleophas Malala. Tonight, the hot seat takes us to Western Kenya, and do we have a story for you? One of the youngest, or should I say youthful, legislators that we have in the Senate. We speak to Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala. Thank you so much for joining us on the hot seat.
Asante sana.
We have looked for you sana bana, eh?
Yeah, I'm around.
Finally, umepatikana.
Kabisa.
For the hot seat.
Asante.
Karibu sana. Now, as usual, this is a platform where we allow you to tell us your story. So we will begin from where it all started for you, where you were born, your upbringing, your education background.
Thank you, Jackie. First of all, I want to appreciate you for inviting me to this program. And my story is a brief one. I do not have a very long history. I was born in 1985 in Kakamega. And immediately after I was born in 1985, I joined St. Peter's Primary School, all the way from class 1 to class 8. Thereafter, I was called up at Sunshine Secondary School in Nairobi. I was among the first lawyers to be called to learn in Nairobi in my generation. And I think I would want to remember in 2000 when I was coming for admission. It was a ceremony for the whole village. We had traditional dancers seeing me off. We had the entire village, elders, taking me to Akamba bus station, where I was given blessings, and I was told, our son, we're giving you blessings, go to school, we want you to become a doctor. And I was admitted to Sunshine Secondary School. I was there for 2 years before I was expelled from the school. And my expulsion was not a normal expulsion, because the person who recommended my expulsion was the retired president, the late Daniel Torotich Arap Moi. He was the chairperson of the Board of Management, and he chaired the disciplinary committee, where I was accused for incitement and trying to revolutionize the thinking of the student fraternity. And he recommended that I should be expelled from Sunshine Secondary School. So I took that bravely and came back home. I had not informed my parents that, especially my dad, that I was facing a disciplinary matter, because at that point I had sought the services of my aunt to take me to school to act as my mother. So
were the allegations true, first of all?
They are not true. Issues of advocacy of the rights of students, and this is what we are doing up to right now. I'm a person who believes in equality, who believes in transparency, and therefore we had issues with Sunshine was, I think, among the first schools, boys' schools, which was headed by a lady. So we had a lady by the name Sang. Principal Sang, when she came to head Sunshine after Professor Labanairo left, she brought in very punitive way of dealing with students. And she went ahead and interfered with our privacy, in the sense that when we received letters from outside, she had formed a committee of teachers and prefects to read our letters first before they disbursed them to the students. So I thought that was interfering with our privacy, and I rose up to the occasion and tried to advocate for fairness when it comes to interacting and dealing with their students' privacy. So I think that was not taken in good light, and I was charged with incitement. Thereafter, I was expelled. So I went back home. My journey back home was a very difficult journey because I had disappointed the entire community, the community which believed that I was going to Nairobi, and by the time I was coming back, I was supposed to become a doctor. I was supposed to become a Dr. Malala when I was going back to that village, and therefore I had disappointed an entire lineage. So when I went back home, I gathered courage and broke the sad news to my father. Told him, "Come on, I've been expelled from a national school." So many people would want to go to a national school,
Yes.
but I think there was a dark cloud hanging precariously above our community. They had lost a chance, and everybody was disappointed with me. But I went down on my knees, prayed, and asked God for a second chance. My former principal, Professor Laban Nairo, had now become the provincial director of education. In the defunct education system, they were called PDEs. So he was the Western Region PDE. So I went to his office and requested for his support. He recommended me to Friends School Kamsinga. And when I went to Friends School Kamsinga, I met a very, very, very good person in the name of a principal called Simon Nabukwesi. He's now the PS of higher education. And he took me up as his son. We had challenges, but the day I was admitted was very dramatic because I was putting on Sunshine uniform. And Sunshine uniform, of course, Sunshine was putting on shorts.
Yes.
But now, since I was a prefect at Sunshine, I had long trousers and a blue shirt, navy blue trouser and a blue shirt. And I was a little bit big in size. So when I got into my class, that was Form 3X, I found a teacher, and most probably a teacher on practice. She was taking students through some literature lesson. So when I came in, she thought that I'm the supervisor who had come to supervise her. So she quickly ran and brought a chair and told me, "Sir, Professor, sit here." So I was wondering, come on, should I disclose that I'm a student? And even the students were saying, yeah, there's a professor who has come to supervise the teacher on practice. So I sat there for a double lesson, pretending to be a professor and supervising the teacher on practice. So after the lesson, the teacher of practice requested that we should go to the staff room so that we can have a meal. So in my innocence, I followed her to the staff room. That was my first mistake on my first day, and I was punished. So you can imagine getting into a school, you have a disciplinary background, and a few hours after your admission, you again get into a mistake.
Yes.
So it was not a mistake, it was dramatic. My life is full of drama. I stayed in Kamsinga, and I want to believe that Kamsinga shaped my life. It instilled discipline in me. It instilled focus. The focal attention I have in life, it's courtesy of Friends School Kamsinga. And even the leadership skills that I enjoy right now, it's courtesy of Friends School Kamsinga. Thereafter, I passed my Kenya Secondary School certificate exams. I was called upon to do law in Moi University. I was admitted in Moi University. I was there for one semester again. And the environment there was not conducive to me. And I consulted with my parents, and they thought, no, let us change the university. So I was in Moi University for only 3 months. I applied for admission at United States International University, USIU Africa, which was successful. So I was admitted again in the USIU to undertake information system technology and a graduate degree, which I did successfully. Something to note and something very interesting about my life at USIU, I did not lose my identity. I decided that I will uphold my identity, and I will not be derailed. I will not be courted by the cultures I'm interacting with. I insisted on trading. I used to sell meat. And just before classes, I would go to Dagoretti Corner to get, or Bama to get meat. I used to sell meat to the cafeterias around school. So I used to come in with a white lab coat and gunias and yeah. So I opened up a butcher at Zimmerman Estate, whereby I used to supply meats and matumbo, liver to students, to cafeterias, and at the age of 22, I bought my first vehicle.
Wow.
Courtesy of my business as a butcherman. People were laughing at me. Come on, how comes are you? Why are you selling meat yet you
go to USIU?
Go to USIU. I told them it's about me. It's not about because I had financial challenges. At the age of 19, I already had my firstborn. You can imagine.
Wow.
And I had to come up now as a father. I had to forget that I'm a student and to come up as a father, take care of my small family. So I trudged on, and immediately I graduated from USIU. I said I will not go to look for employment. I took a break, went back home, and one of these lazy weekends, I saw some crowd gathered somewhere, and I just I had interest to know what was going on in that crowd. So when I went there, I found some old guy, not very old, but some elderly guy, putting on a hat and having a whisk, trying to convince people that he was the councillor of that area. You know, in the defunct municipal councils, the local leaders were called councillors, the equivalent to an MCA right now. Yeah. So that guy was trying to talk to the gathering and trying to tell them that, come on, I'm the right leader for you. I pensively listened to that guy and asked myself, if this is the kind of leadership we are having, then we will never change this society. It is at that point that I said, no, come on, I am better off than this guy, and declared my interest that I want to become a member of county assembly in the coming dispensation in 2013. That was in 2012. So I went back home and did a text message, a general text message to all my friends and all the people I had saved in my phone book. So I asked them, come on, we have voter registration. Kindly register in a certain polling station because I have interest in this ward called Mayakalo. So of the almost 200, 300 SMS I sent, I received a reply from a person I didn't expect. That was my father.
Oh.
And the reply was, you are joking.
What?
I called him, I asked him, come on, I have aspirations to become a member of county assembly. He told me, come home. So I went, I had a candid discussion with him, and he said, you will not pursue that course. I want you to go and do your master's degree. I want you to pursue your professional route. Being a counselor is the last thing you should be thinking about. Those are positions for old men. Those are positions for people who didn't go to school. And my mother was there, seated, listening to our discussion. And when I asked her to say something about my aspiration, she started crying and telling me that she has really struggled to make sure that I get education, to make sure that I become a professional, and I was going to let them down if I got into politics. So I told them I'm going to think about it. When I went back to I used to stay in some servants' quarter, just across home. When I went back there, immediately I texted again to everybody in my phone book, including my father and mother. I told them my resolve is final. I am vying for Mayakalo MCA seat. Something interesting, in Mayakalo ward, that is not my ward. In
It's not even your word.
it's not my ward because it was not my ward because the setup, in the Western region, we have different tribes settling in different wards. So that ward was not, I was not a native of that ward. That ward was dominated by a sub-tribe in Luya called the Isuhas. I'm personally not a Isuha, but I said I want to try. And the probability of me getting that seat was, I think, less than 10%. But what I did, I mobilized youth and friends to register votes in that ward. And when I was taking my count, I realized the youth that had registered in that ward were more than even the voters of that ward. Because everybody flocked into that ward because it's just a town ward, but part of town is the ward. So I mobilized people from this side of town to cross over, and we had numbers. So I gathered courage, I gathered confidence, and said, "Come on, I'm going for the general elections." So I went to ODM. I said, "I want to go to the most popular party where there's competition." So when I went to ODM for nominations, I won the nominations, and in the general elections, I won those general elections in a very dramatic way. I won by around 140 votes only. But it was by the grace of the Lord. Because on the eve of the elections, when I was talking to my agents, my polling agents, I was in some hotel called Kamadep. So I was trying to put my house in order, talking to agents, talking to my mobilizers, last minute plans. And I saw some boda guy who came, wanted to talk to me. And I was saturated. My mind was saturated. So I did not give him too much attention, but he insisted, "I want to talk to you." So when I listened to him, he told me that in the neighboring constituency, they had some 400 people who had been registered in this ward, but the person who registered them did not failed at the nomination. And therefore, we have 400 people who are coming to vote tomorrow, and they don't know who to vote for. So I consulted, my dad was there, so I consulted him and asked him, "What do you think about this guy?" My dad told me, "Come on, the die is cast. If you are going to win the election tomorrow, it's already time. If you're going to lose, it's already, there's nothing you can do. It's already 7 p.m. Go rest. Tomorrow face the electorate." So I didn't want to dismiss that guy because I was aware of the shoe. I decided that I'm going to give him audience. And he told me those people, in fact, are seated in one place in Malava constituency. Malava constituency, that's the neighboring constituency from Lurambi constituency. And I told my elder brother, "Come on, is it possible you go with this boda guy and ascertain whether that position is true?" Because, in politics, somebody can want to decoy you, to take you away. You go there, they hijack you overnight, and, So I said, "I'll not go personally. I'll send my brother." So when my brother went there, he actually got 400 people seated in one of the homesteads, and all they were asking for is one, they wanted dinner. So we bought a bull, slaughtered for them, and they wanted transport to come and vote the following day. So we went there. I went there personally that night and spoke to those people, and they said unanimously they're coming to vote for me. The following day, they were voting. When they were voting, they voted, and they were passing by home just to take tea and bread. And they didn't ask me for any money. In the evening, when we were counting votes, I won the election by 140 votes. Wow. So if I had not gone for those people, I was not going to become a member of county assembly.
And if you had not listened to this particular person who came into
and this gives us a very, very important lesson in our lives. Listen.
Do not
as a
dismiss
leader,
anyone.
do not dismiss anybody. Whatever the social background, whatever the status, listen. And that is why I believe in having friends across board. When I go to Kakamega, you'll find me seated in local pubs, you'll find me seated in saloons, you'll find me seated in Juakali, just talking to the electorate, because you never know. There's a lot of value in the downtrodden people than even in these high high-class people we meet in high-class hotels. So that was a lesson. I became a member of county assembly at a very young age, around 26, 27 years. Huh?
But sorry to cut you short. Around this time as well, you were a playwright,
Yeah.
a very notable name, in theatre and productions. How did this help get you to now where you were as a member of county assembly at that time?
Of course, being a playwright and being a drama director helps a lot in the field of politics because we derive a lot of characteristics in terms of personal attributes when it comes to building your charisma to people, when it comes to expressing yourself to people, because politics is all about how you are how you are perceived, how you attract the magnetic prowess you have to attract people on your side, and drama plays a big role. How you package your message. What tone do you use? What facial expression do you use? What body language? What posture? What pose? How do you pose for a certain message? If you want to be authoritative, how then do you have an authoritative body language that will ensure that your message percolates deep into the people, into your audience? And it's very important for me to note that drama has played a very big role in ensuring that it nurtures me as a leader. I have communicated my message, my political messages, through drama. You remember I did a play called Shackles of Doom.
Absolutely.
And Shackles of Doom is now, it has lived its life, it's now manifesting itself. And the issues that I raised in Shackles of Doom 7 years ago, issues of unequal distribution of resources, issues of certain tribes taking advantage of others, the marginalized tribes and the marginalized communities. I think I spoke about the same issue 7 years ago. Now that I'm a participant in what is going on, even in the Senate, the revenue formula debate. I'm a key player there because I believe in my pieces of art. Somebody would want to think that this is a political position I've taken. The other day, I was talking to the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga moments after he went to Kakamega and bashed me and told the people of Kakamega that he wonders why the senator for Kakamega is not accepting money to come to Kakamega, yet Kakamega is benefiting. Why am I opposed to a formula that is going to make my people benefit? But I explained to Raila Amolo Odinga and told him the conviction I have in equality came all the way from Shackles of Doom. And therefore, it is not a political position. You cannot lobby me on political lines, on coalition lines, say that you're a member of Handshake. Why are you opposing what Handshake wants? No, it's beyond that. It is deep inside my heart. It flows in my veins. The issue of equality, I can never change that position as a leader.
But did you not leave this meeting with him having agreed on a win-win formula?
We agreed, and that is why I'm sometimes confused, because our leaders must give us clear signals. When you address a press as a leader of a coalition and say that we want a win-win situation, you should expect us to pick up from that. As your subjects, you should expect us to pick up from that. And that is what I picked up from my coalition leader on the first day when he said he is supporting a win-win formula for in this scenario. And I have been condemned for being defiant, for not following the position of my coalition. But again, it must be told here that we do not have a party position in this matter. Because a party position is brought about when you call for a parliamentary group meeting, discuss an issue, and come up with a common resolution. But since we started discussing this revenue formula thing, we've never called for a parliamentary group meeting as NASA. And therefore, as we speak right now, we do not have a party position, because we have members of the party whose counties are losing, you have others whose counties are gaining, and therefore you will never have a common position as a party. And therefore this matter is beyond parties. This matter is about patriotism. This matter is about the Kenya we want to see in the coming future. And therefore, I think as young senators, we've taken our position. And I don't think, even if I'm humiliated to whatever point, I will never change my mind on the issue of having a country which embraces equity.
Let's stick to that county revenue allocation OMPAS. You have very vocally, very strongly held your position. And then we're looking at, oh, there's going to be a sitting where this is going to be discussed. And the night before, we see a lot of drama that ends up with you being removed from your house. Take us through that.
Uh, Government is government. I was not surprised in the manner in which they handled this matter, although it was an archaic way of dealing with such serious matters. And in the current dispensation, we shouldn't be using such formulas or such strategies to ensure that somebody votes in your favor. I think we made our position very clear. And for the 10 weeks, I think after we've sorted out this revenue formula, I will sit down and do either a book or a play about this thing. Because this has been my worst 10 weeks in my political career, and generally even in my life, because I've received a lot of pressure. And as a person, or even as a family man, I think the pressure has even affected my family, because I don't even have time for my family. Every time you are called by the who's and who's in this society, some trying to persuade you, some trying to intimidate you. Even I was driving here, I received a phone call from one of the mechanics in Kakamega town, and he told me he was repairing his vehicle in Juakali, and a vehicle owned by a police officer, some commissioner, some county commissioner, something in Kakamega, and he overheard the police officers talking to each other and saying, "We are supposed to arrest Malala." I asked the guy, "Hey, arrest me over what?" I don't know. Those guys were just saying that they are planning to arrest you either today or tomorrow. Now you see, you live in uncertainty. You don't know. You are being arrested for nothing. You don't know who is trailing you. So I've been intimidated for the last 10 weeks.
But the gangland style manner in which you were ejected that day, I want us to go back to that particular time.
Yeah.
So people have come, they have surrounded your house. Of course, we saw, a few clips of you saying, "Hey, why are you in my house at this hour?" They stayed for so long. What was going on at that time?
I traveled from Kakamega from around 7 p.m. and go to Nairobi by road. Go to Nairobi at around 12 midnight. So 1 hour after midnight, I saw 5 vehicles parked outside my compound, and they had intimidated the askaris at the gate. They got in without even my permission, and I just had people knocking at my door and telling me, "Open the door." I asked them, "Who are you?" They're telling me, "You are officers from DCI." I told them, "What do you want? We've been told to come and arrest you. Over what? We don't know. Just come with us." So I said, "No, come on. You will not take such a situation for granted." I refused to open the door, so I went to the balcony and tried to engage them. But the guys seemed to have instructions which were not full, because I was asking them, "Okay, it is my right to know why I'm being arrested. Could you please tell me what are the reasons for my arrest?" And they declined. They told us, "We've been instructed to pick you and take you to DCI headquarters on Kiambu Road." So I said, "No, I will not do that." When it got to morning, I called my lawyers, I called my colleagues, and alerted them that I had people who wanted to arrest me. And they stayed there. And something funny, the manner in which they were trying to smoke me out of the house. They started by disconnecting power.
What?
Yeah, so I had no power. So they didn't want us to communicate with the outside world. So they wanted our phones not to have charge. And in a short while, when we went to open our taps, they had disconnected water. So they wanted us to be very uncomfortable in that house so that we go out. So I waited for my colleagues and my lawyers when they came. That is when they said that now they are giving out information why I'm being arrested. And they told me, you're being arrested for giving out sanitizers and masks in Mumias the previous day. I asked them, come on, the sanitizers you're accusing me for dishing out are government sanitizers. It is government which gave me as a senator sanitizers to go and disburse to my people. So how then do you accuse me for distributing your products? The masks that I was giving people in Mumias are NYS masks. The NYS director gave me 10,000 masks and told me, disburse this mask to your people in Kakamega. So why am I being arrested for performing a duty that was delegated by government? So the manner in which they were, and I asked them, okay, why can't you just summon me then to Mumias so that I can explain myself or do a statement? Why must you come with 20 DCI officers in the wee hours of the night? In fact, it was a scare even to my family. Lucky enough, I don't stay with my kids in Nairobi. But with what was going around both in print and broadcast media, it was very unfortunate. It was very scary to my children. That is a point where I say that whatever we do, let us remember that we have families.
Families.
Yeah. And when we were still in that push and pull, I prioritized calling my children. I just wanted to know if they know that this is happening. So I called my firstborn son, Leon, who is in Form 1 at Kabarak. I just wanted to encourage him. Yeah? I was scared. What are they going through? So when I called Leon, even before I started explaining myself, Leon told me, Daddy kangumu, wasikutishe. I felt, come on, this is better. Now I said, huyo mdogo, I have a class 3 here. Oh, huyo mdogo labda akona issues. So I called Lavin Williams. And I wanted to reduce myself to his level so that I can now explain. So the first thing I said, hello, Daddy. I called him Daddy. Hello, Daddy. And he told me, hey, Daddy, una trend. I said, kumbe, these guys are okay. So I was
cooled down a bit.
I was cooled down. I knew that wale wengine wadogo, you know, I have several kids. In Luya, we don't count, but I have a number of them, of course, in one family. Yeah, and I cooled down and decided now I can face the DCI. And when I faced the DCI, they took me in a very horrific expedition in town here. They drove with me to Ngong Forest, to Thika Road, telling me nothing, and they are very like these shotguns. Every officer had around 2 shotguns, and I was telling them, come on. Badala ya kuja kushika mimi na mabunduki hivi, nani mshike wale watu waliiba pesa ya KEMSA. Because me, I have not stolen any money, I have not killed anybody. You are charging me for distributing sanitizers. So and nobody was talking with me in that car. Everybody was silent. So they wanted to torture me. So mimi nawaambia mnizungushe tu lakini mjue Mungu wangu wako. So they are just silent. They are not saying anything. Putting on very gloomy faces. So mimi naongelesha tu. I started preaching to them. Naongelesha mambo ya Mungu, naambia mnajua pia nyinyi mna familia. Siku moja itakuwa nyinyi, unajua hii mambo kaburi ni yetu sisi wote. And I touched their nerves. They started saying, "Anye mheshimiwa hatuna shida na wewe." So I think they are also human.
Yes.
And told me that, tumetumwa tu na sisi nafanya kazi yetu. I told them, so I asked them, so where are you taking me to? They told me, we are waiting for instructions. But in the meantime, we are going to Banana. We are not going to any particular police station. Just taking me around town and, causing me tension.
So why didn't they take you to the DCI headquarters like they had said initially?
They didn't take me to DCI headquarters. So eventually they told me now, through that bypass, the eastern bypass, they told me now we are headed to Mumias. Now feel relaxed. We shall not harass you. In fact, we shall give you space. You will sit with just one officer behind there. And if you want food, we shall give you food. And I told them, can we then pray before we leave? Because, come on, with this kind of speed, you never know. But So I prayed for them for the journey, told them come on. Unajua hii gari ikianguka sio mfungwa peke yake atakufa, hata nyinyi mtakufa. So ni mzuri tuombe na tuende tu polepole, tusikue na haraka na overspeeding. So they said it's okay. But now they insisted that they wanted that I will not take any other food apart from the food they provide because I was now their property. I said I would rather remain hungry and die of hunger. But I cannot take food from the same perpetrators, the same antagonists, same villains who have been sent to arrest me. So I was hard on them. I told them I will not take anything from you, even water. I will only take water from my bodyguards. They had disengaged me from my bodyguards and my people. So we went all the way to Naivasha. When we got to Naivasha, they took me to Naivasha police station. I told them, this is not Mumias, man. They told me, no, we want you to eat because you're looking weak. We want you to eat. And we brought you to a government institution. And in this jurisdiction, nothing bad can happen to you. You must eat. I told them, I'm not going to eat. Let me die, but I'm not going to eat your food. So I told even the OCS. The OCS told me, we can even record that it is us giving you food. I told them, no, I'll not be there. In the worst case scenario, for example, I'm poisoned. I will not be there to tell people that I was poisoned. So I'll not eat your food. I'll only take food from my people. So call my driver, call my people to bring for me food. So they said, okay, let us go to this place called Del Mare. Buy your own food. I said, I'll buy my own food. They told me, you are not leaving the vehicle. We shall go and buy for you. I told them, no, you will not buy my food. If you think it's so hard, let us go to Mumias and eat from Mumias. They said, you must eat. You must take water. Take some water. I told them, I'll not take anything. So until they agreed that they are calling my bodyguard. Of course, they were trying to trail us, but my bodyguard were already in Nakuru. So I told them to stop over, buy food for me. So we drove all the way to Nakuru, where I found food and now took the food from my bodyguard. And asked them, okay, is it possible then, this food that you're insisting I eat, can you eat now? Because even you guys have not eaten. They refused to eat the food. They didn't eat the food. In fact, they threw the food. When you go to Aero, they threw the food. The water, naambia simkunywa hata maji bana, mtaanguka kwa barabara mkipeleka nyinyi mkuli. They don't want to eat the food that they were insisting I eat. So I think I would really want to, and on Monday we've summoned the IG to come to the Senate. I really want him to explain to us whether the police reforms are being implemented or it is just cosmetic, because I think we have not still achieved the police reforms that we have been pushing for.
So you have been arrested. There's a lot of hue and cry even from your colleagues on the floor of the Senate. We saw your colleagues raising this matter, bringing it before the Speaker Lusaka. Had you not appointed a proxy to vote for you? Because this is one of the things that came up on the floor.
We, as Team Kenya, we had a counter strategy. Because immediately Senator Lagat was arrested, we quickly knew that some of us were also targeted. Because if you saw the kind of arrests they made very strategic arrests. They made arrests of those senators whose counties are gaining, but they're opposing the formula, and they have members of delegation. The first time we had started this debate about the revenue, they arrested Sakaja in some launch. So the issue was to arrest Sakaja so that he cannot bring the amendments.
So it wasn't that he was flouting.
How many people are flouting? We've seen the president in Kibra holding rallies. Was he arrested? Yesterday we saw Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in Taita Taveta. We've seen the deputy president having big rallies in Athi River, in Embakasi. Have they been arrested? So the law cannot be applied selectively. So Sakaja's arrest was purely political. Sakaja's arrest was meant to ensure that he does not bring the amendments on Tuesday. That's why he was charged on Tuesday. And he was arrested. He was supposed to be arrested over the weekend, but they waited for him until Tuesday. That's when he went to court, and he was charged for flouting COVID-19 regulations. But realistically, they wanted to intimidate those senators who have opposed the current proposals by government. But we have said that we shall work as a team. Where we go one, we go all. You negotiate. You don't negotiate with Malala alone. You negotiate with all of us.
All of you.
Yeah, convince all of us. And that was when I met Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga the other day at Capitol Hill. He was very objective. He talked to me as a father. I saw sense in what he was saying. But I told him now, where we have reached, it is not about Malala. It's about our team. So is it possible then I organize? You come and address us as a team and tell us. And he said he has no problem. In fact, he called Orengo. I met Orengo a few hours after I met Raila, and we planned for a meeting. I brought my entire team, Murkomen, Zagaja, Mtula Kilonzo. We met with Orengo and his team, and they tried selling to us the amendments that they're trying to push. We also told them our irreducible minimums, and we agreed that we are not going to discuss the issue yesterday on Tuesday. We are going to push it for next week on Tuesday. We are going to have a Kamkunji. We have two formulas now, two proposals. One fronted by the Orengo team and the leadership team, and another one fronted by Team Kenya. So we are going to have a Kamkunji on Monday. Discuss the issues, discuss the two proposals, and see if we can reach a compromise situation. Because at the end of the day, we belong to our country, Kenya, and we need to sort out this matter amicably, without kushurutishwa, without being intimidated, without being arrested. Because we've said, even if you arrested us, all of us, we shall still not pass that your proposals under duress. Therefore, it will be in bad faith and against the spirit of the objects of devolution and even our mother constitution to have a resolution of the Senate that divides this country.
But even before Monday, and this talks look like you are all making some headway. You're on record saying that you feel like you allege some branch or some group that was specifically formed against you. Do you still hold that position? And now you're saying someone has called you, alluding to the fact that he's overheard there's a plan for your arrest.
I'm a product of God, and
Hallelujah.
I think sometimes it's only the hand of God that protects us. I will not disclose my source, but last week I got wind of some 5 officers who had been called at the DCI VIP launch, briefed and told that there's a certain assignment we want to give you. Those officers were not told what assignment they were supposed to undertake, and they were asked to have a subsequent meeting at Lamada off Thika Road. So the following day, they went to Lamada, met with the commander, which I'll name in this show, met with that commander, and the commander did not tell them a lot. In fact, he told them, just have drinks, entertain yourselves, have a meal, but let us meet again. Again, they were not told what they were supposed to do. So the following day, they met at a hotel in Thika called Eatery something in Thika. So when they go to that hotel, they were told to leave their phones at the reception. And they were given some receipts just to show that this phone belongs to this person. We have CCTV footage of all those 5 officers leaving their phones.
So this is verifiable information that you have?
Authoritative. I have their names, their staff number, the rifles which they signed. I have the vehicle which they were assigned, GKE. Then I have the number plates. They have 2 number plates. The second number plate is a pseudo number plate, KBZ, something, something. And then I even have their crew name. I have every detail. So in that meeting, there is one officer called Wanzala, who was now the head of the crew, who now gave them strict instruction and told them, we want you guys to keep an eye on Senator Cleophas Malala. You'll use these rifles. There was a rifle called, they were given 2 rifles, special rifles, called Scorpion. Scorpion is a semi-automatic rifle which can shoot from a distance of 800 meters. It has got a microscopic element whereby it can shoot. It has got a silencer, so it can shoot from a very long range. So I wondered why officers can be given such sophisticated rifles to keep an eye on me, and why rifles which can shoot from 800 meters. So they were given a fuel card, total fuel card. I have the number of the fuel card. I have the petrol stations they have been fueling from, and I have all the details.
So are you openly saying here now that you feel your life is in danger?
Yes,
have you taken any action towards that?
I have written to the IG, I have written to the CS Interior, I have written to the Attorney General, I have written to the Speaker, I have written to the county commandants, both in Kakamega and Nairobi. I have written to the OCS Kitengela, where I stay. I've written to the OCS Kakamega. I've written to the OCS Parliament Building. I've written to the Sergeant at Arms. I've notified everybody. Yesterday on Tuesday on the floor of the House, I stated these facts on the floor of the House. The Speaker was compelled to call the IG to come and delve deep into this matter on Monday. So on Monday we are meeting the IG. And something that is surprising, up to now, I've just been talking to the county commandant of Kakamega, and he was telling me he has not been given instructions to give me security, to enhance my security. And I asked him, so are you waiting for me to die so that you can now give me security? So after he disclosed that the information to the public, those officers were called back. They were given 20,000 each and told to go for a 2 weeks compulsory leave. As we speak right now, they're on leave. They're on leave, and the vehicle that they were using has now been taken to Limuru police station, and the number plate has been changed to Southern Sudan number plate. So I have all the information. I know what they are doing. I even know where those police officers are right now. One of them, two of them were in Kakamega previously, in some bar in Kakamega. I can trace them. When they move, I move with them. Wakikata kona, tunakata kona now.
Wakiingia kwa msitu.
Yes. We shall meet at the point where they'll kill me. I have their names. I have their phone numbers. So it's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke. Yeah, and I've personally spoken this with the Speaker and told the Speaker, come on, don't wait for me to die. I've even written a message to Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, and I've even shared with him these details. I've written a message to the President and told him my life is in danger. I've done everything. I've notified everybody. So in case of anything, I'm even notifying you.
It's always
that my life is in danger.
It's out there. But we pray for your protection. As we move towards this Kamukunji, are you seeing like there's some light at the end of the tunnel, a result to this OMPAS?
Of course, we should have people ceding ground. We can no longer maintain...
Will Team Kenya cede ground?
We are willing, and we were even telling yesterday Senator Orengo, when he had a meeting with Team Kenya, we had 5 people representing Team Kenya, 6 people actually, representing Team Kenya, meeting with the other team. And in that meeting, we told them, come on, we are not rigid. They had proposed some cushioning clause in whatever formula that they're bringing, that they're saying, no county will lose its allocation more than 10% of their current allocation. So as we were saying, is it possible then you reduce the cushioning percentage from 10 to 5%. So that we say, okay, we have ceded ground, we have allowed counties, we can have counties losing, but not past 5% of their current allocation. Yeah.
In your tenure as a senator and even in its leadership, has there ever been a more difficult time you have faced than this?
No, I think this is the most difficult and historic moments. And I had reiterated earlier in my opening remarks that I think we are writing history. We are writing history for our great grandchildren to read in the future, and therefore we will not want to be compromised either by party position or by money or by political promises. No. Many would argue that, come on, Kakamega is gaining and you are opposed to this. Of course, opponents would want to run with that thing to Kakamega and tell them, come on, you send your senator to bring for you money, and now he's refusing money to come to Kakamega. You've seen what they have done to Sakaja in Nairobi. They've even done billboards trying to castigate him. But as young senators, we say there comes a time when you need to stand for this country and not our personal account.
Country first.
Country first. Because without Kenya, we don't have Kakamega. So it's important for the people of Kakamega to know that if Kenya is divided, then you don't have Kakamega. And let me tell you one thing, Jackie. If you take away money from Northeastern, do you know the problem you're brewing? We have a lot of radicalization on the other side. We shall be cultivating desperation to the young people of Garissa, Mandera. When those guys are recruited into Al-Shabaab, do you think they will bomb Garissa alone? They'll come to the capital city of Nairobi.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why are we causing problems? You know, in theater we have what we call cause and effects. The causality of the troubles you're going to face in the future are being created right now. When you take away money from Vihiga County has got a development budget of 900 million. Now you want to take 406 million. It means their hospitals will close up. It means their roads will not be maintained. And if they don't have medicine in their hospitals, in their dispensaries, they'll come to Kakamega. It means Kakamega hospitals will be strained. So we are not sorting out any problem. I think our proposal to His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta is that the shareable revenue, at the moment we're having 316 billion. If President Uhuru Kenyatta adds an extra 20 billion to the current revenue allocation, and the shareable revenue, then this stalemate will be sorted out, because we only need 20 billion to sort out this problem. We can even apply the formula that they are proposing if we have 336 billion. So all we are asking the president is that the solution lies in his hands. Let him add devolution money. And if at all they are sincere about BBI, bringing in 35% of the national revenue to the counties, then why don't we agree to pass the county allocation revenue bill as it is, using the previous formula? We pass it, we use the previous formula, wait for BBI, which is coming before the end of the year, get 35% of devolution money, and then apply the formula. So why the hurry? And Jackie, I want to say this, and I know it's going to be controversial. I support BBI, 100%. I will vote for BBI. But this narrative that is being brought about the one man, one shilling, one vote, I would wish to explain myself, and I want you to listen to me on this issue. At the moment, the one man, one shilling is making sense in this debate. But the one vote is not making sense, because there's no vote in this scenario. But let me now expose to you how this vote thing is coming to play in the coming political scenarios. There is rumor that BBI is introducing what we call virtual constituencies, whereby, for example, say a constituency will be defined in the Constitution as a political jurisdiction which has people, say, 50,000 and below. One constituency will have 50,000 below. So it means Garissa constituency is one constituency. Nyeri town constituency with 250,000 people will be 5 constituencies, though represented by 1 person in parliament. So when it comes to parliament, the Garissa MP will have 1 vote, but the Nyeri town MP will have 5 votes. Are you getting that? So we are going to have this battle even on a bigger platform in the near future. It means when they say that CDF, every constituency will be getting 100 million, Garissa constituency will get 100 million. Nyeri town constituency will get 500 million. 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote.
That is
the Kenya we want to go on. We cannot accept that.
So that's where the 1 vote comes
That's
in.
where the 1 vote comes in. We are the players of the future. And we don't want the coming generation to ask us questions. Where were you when this oppressive formula was being passed? That is why I'm telling you, it's beyond party politics. It's beyond money. It's beyond, they have even sent my grandfather to talk to me. They even sent my grandmother. The intelligence guys have spoken to my clansmen to tell me kijana yetu enda polepole, saidia tu serikali ipitishe mambo yake. But I said, I will go to my grave when I have a Kenya which has equality, when I have a Kenya which the child in Turkana has got the same privilege as the child in Kakamega.
All right. So you're a champion not just for Kakamega but for the country. But I want to take you back to Kakamega, and because now you have brought yourself out as one of these very strong leaders who's not afraid to take a stand and a position. We have 2 years left. We're looking at BBI coming. Whether it will come or not, you're saying, of course, it is coming. But we have 2 years left, and that's a very short time. So what's your path looking like in 2022 specifically?
As I told you, I'm a product of God. I'm waiting for God's signal.
It has not come from up above.
No,
Really?
but I think it is important to say that I'm certain that in 2022, I'll still be in leadership. Because I have got a lot of unfinished business in serving Kenya. So in whatever form, in whatever position that I'll be vying for, I believe that I have whatever it takes to clinch whatever seat I want to get.
And which whatever seat is this that we're looking
We
at?
have several seats. We have 2022, President Uhuru Kenyatta is going home. We shall have a vacancy for presidency. VBI is introducing 4 other positions: Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister. We are going to have a parliamentary system where we are going to have CS from Parliament. We're going to have governors. I can still return to be a senator. I still have passion to serve my people at the grassroots. I can still go back to become an MCA. So in whatever position that God will guide me, I want to believe that I'm going to be victorious in whatever political destiny that I want to achieve.
So we wait for the light to come.
Yes.
We have seen that you have now come back and pleaded for forgiveness from your party leader. Kuliendaje Kajiado ba? Badala ya maombi ba. Kuliendaje Kajiado?
Jackie, as I said, we are still young. And along our political journeys, we are prone to make mistakes. And that is why I said I will engage my party leader. We've been having divergent political views with him. And I just thought it wise, as his son, to ask for forgiveness. It's not bad to ask for forgiveness. And I don't see why people are misinterpreting that, I have ditched Raila from Salia. No. I reiterated that I support the handshake. I'm the deputy leader of minority in the Senate. I still believe in the handshake. And me asking for forgiveness from Musalia Mudavadi does not stop me from working with Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. So I think people should separate issues and accept that I reached out to Musalia Mudavadi as a father to forgive me if I had offended him, and he forgave me, and that's now watered down the bridge. In Kajiado, we went to Kajiado We had fun. You even saw us having Roomba. And you see, you cannot dance Roomba when you've not taken water.
You can take water like this.
Yes, and have Roomba. But most importantly, on the content of our discussion and our resolutions that day, we agreed. And I still stick to those resolutions that the spokesperson of our community, when it comes to development, is going to be, we are going to have Weekly for Paranya, the chair of Council of Governors, and Eugene Omalwa. But on political issues, we did not agree. We did not agree that they are going to become our political leaders. Every community has got political leaders. But politically, the leader of Western region, Jackie, is Musalia Mudavadi, truth be told. And that is my position.
With all this that is happening in your life, how do you balance when you go home as a family man, as a dad, as a husband?
I do balance. I have a lot of time with my family, and so that I bring peace. And just in case they are watching, I have one wife. I have one wife.
I have one wife.
I have one wife. I want to be on record. I have one wife by the name Caroline Malala, and I have 3 children. I have a lot of time with them. Even recently, when I was undergoing a lot of political pressure, you saw me in social media celebrating my second-born birthday with them. I create time for them, and one thing that I appreciate, they also appreciate the position that I am in. When it comes to my political life, they support me. They give me time to pursue whatever I want to pursue. Sometimes when I'm not available for them, they understand. So I want to say that I've got a very understanding family, very supportive family, and I'm a proud father.
For those young people who are looking at you as a youthful leader and would want to be in your shoes, what is your message to them? Inspire our youth. Your camera over here.
I want the young people of this country to rise up to the occasion when it comes to elections. Kindly, and I repeat, kindly, vote in young people. Do not say that they do not have experience, they do not have money. Believe in young leadership. And I can tell you why. Because I sit in the highest, or in the almost the second most powerful houses in this Republic of Kenya, called the Senate. And I can assure you, when a bill that talks about young people comes to the Senate, a bill, for example, that talks about theater arts, you'll rarely find more than 5 senators seated in that chair, because they have no interest. When a bill that talks about nurturing talent, football, volleyball, cushioning artists, comes on the floor of the House, you'll get 2 or 3 senators speaking on that bill. My clarion call, I will mobilize this nation to ensure that we vote in young leaders. And in fact, it should be law that no old person should vie for a member of county assembly seat. It should be law, because what are they doing? What, you are 60 years, what are you doing as an MCA? We want to use the existing county assemblies as chambers to nurture young leaders. We want to ensure that in this Republic of Kenya, the 1,500 MCAs, we want to ensure that almost 90% are youthful leaders. Because that is where we can incubate talent. That is where we can incubate leadership. But when you go to the county assemblies, you get clans, the clan elders seated there representing their clans. So we are saying that the youth of this republic are behaving like the proverbial bull, which has energy, but it has not realized the energy it possesses. So I want to ask them in 2022, don't be conned. Ensure that you vote in young leadership, no matter what.
Absolutely. So much to talk about on the hot seat. I don't think we would ever finish, but we have to stop it from there. And thank you so much, Senator, for joining us. We hope you will once again heed our call and join us on the hot seat once again.
Asante sana.
We thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching as usual. God bless. See you next week on Sunday at 8 p.m.